Fenlon, we meet again. And again. And again.
I grow tired of your visits, cat.
As do I, you slut.
You are a slut.
You're a slut.
You are the slut.
Cat, ready to dance.
I'm always ready.
Fenlongo, I've missed our chats.
Shut up and fight.
Welcome to the mother relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. I'm sure most of you have heard by now. Mikaela Mayer signs with MVP. Michaela signs with Most Valuable Promotions. The three-weight world champion Mayer has made a significant move in her career. Mayer has put pen to paper and joined the Jake Paul revolution of women's boxing and signed with MVP. Mayer has been a free agent since earlier this year after her top-ranked deal expired. And despite interest from elsewhere, the former Olympian has decided to go with MVP, a major move that has major repercussions. Now, that would have to mean that the Mary Spencer fight for two of the four major titles in the junior middleweight division would have been her final fight under her existing top-ranked deal. She's been a free agent ever since. I'm thrilled to join Most Valuable Promotions as we continue breaking barriers and elevating women's boxing to new heights. Mayer said in a press release to formally announce her signing. I've always wanted the biggest and best fights, and MVP's premier roster of women champions creates incredible opportunities to make those matchups happen. I'm looking forward to showcasing my skills on some of the biggest platforms in the sport and working with a passionate, innovative team that believes in the continued growth of women's boxing. Paul has assembled an elite female roster over the last few years, and signing someone with the pedigree of Michaela Mayor adds even more depth to that already loaded stable of women boxers. Mayer now has a plethora of possible options ahead of her, both in-house and outside of that MVP family. Mayer is enjoying the best period of her career to date. The 35-year-old currently holds world titles at welterweight and junior middle, and recent wins over Sandy Ryan and Mary Spencer have demonstrated that the American is getting better with each fight. Those victories earned Mayer the WBO at 147 and the WBA and WBC and WBO junior middleweight baubles. After turning pro in 2017, Mayer has amassed an impressive 22 wins and 2 losses resume. The 2 defeats on her record, the Alicia Baumgartner and Natasha Jonas fights, were bitterly disputed, and arguably, Mayer should still be unbeaten. Yeah, to some people she is. Prior to signing with MVP, Mayer was in talks for a 2-fight deal with another promoter that included a fight with Clarissa Shields at middleweight towards the end of the year. I am of the understanding that a fight with the current undisputed heavyweight champion of the world is still very much a live option for Mayer. That all depends on how much Clarissa wants to or doesn't want to work with MVP. The hookup with MVP gives Mayer even more potential opportunities down the road. Baumgartner is also signed with MVP, and Mayer has always wanted that rematch with her great rival. With both now being aligned in the same promotional family, another fight between Mayer and Baumgartner could be a little easier to make now, but Baumgartner has shown little interest in fighting Mayer again. A strange viewpoint when it is still very much unfinished business with plenty of money left on the table, a red-hot rivalry that still has plenty of air left in it. Chantel Kimran is another potential in-house fight for Mikaela. The much-talked-about undisputed showdown at welter with Lauren Price looks a lot more likely now, with Paul and MVP seemingly not shying away from digging deep into their pockets to get their fighters the big fights. After struggling in the boxing wilderness for somewhat 2 years, Mayer has recovered her career quite magnificently with those 2 wins over Ryan and the dominant win over Spencer. The former unified world super featherweight champion is seemingly in the perfect place to close out her boxing journey. Now signing to MVP, I'm of the opinion that she's miles away from closing out her career. How many options are now at her disposal, so she was offered a 2-fight deal by a promoter that capped off with a Clarissa Shields fight. I'm of the opinion that promoter must have been Dimitri Salita, Clarissa's career-long promoter, and if she didn't take that deal, but she decided to take this one, it's because this one was for a greater financial value. Michaela's not dumb. The article says that the Clarissa Shields fight could still happen, but I've always been skeptical about that fight because there's not a lot in it for Mikaela Mayer. Not a lot of money, not a lot of prestige. Clarissa doesn't hold any belts at middleweight or super middleweight, so what would they be fighting for? Can't say there's a lot of money in it. I never heard of no girl Clarissa fought making life-altering money for having done so. So how's this fight still alive then? Theoretically, if Clarissa is willing to work with MVP on this fight, maybe it could happen. That's a big maybe, because I don't think Mikaela signed to MVP to move towards a Shields fight. I think she signed to MVP to move towards a Lauren Price fight. How's that? Lauren's not with MVP. No, she's not. But you know who is? ESPN Plus in America and Sky Sports in the United Kingdom, where Lauren Price used to fight. Theoretically, the people at ESPN could kick out the purse for Mikaela, the people at Sky Sports could kick out the purse for Lauren, and you could make the fight happen. For Undisputed. They could do that in any one of those other aforementioned fights that I think would pay out to Mikaela more money than she'd make going all the way up there for Clarissa. To fight for no belts? Then what's in it for Mikaela? I'm gonna go ahead and say that I don't think the Shields fight happens, but a lot of other fights might. The fight with Lauren, a showdown with Chantel, maybe a rematch with Alicia. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I don't think the Shields fight happens. Nor should it. We don't need a loudmouth like Clarissa further aggrandizing herself for fighting someone that much smaller than she is. There is a lot to unpack here that we'll talk about in another video. Elsewhere in the world of boxing, 2-time welterweight champion Shawn Porter defends Floyd Mayweather's boxing return, saying that he's not broke. Yes, he is. Shawn Porter is saying that Floyd is not short on money, he just loves to box. Floyd Mayweather's decision to unretire has some fans believing the 50-0 fighter is running out of money, but Shawn Porter tells TMZ that he's not. Shawn's in denial. He just can't stay away from the sport, according to Shawn, the sport that he loves. We spoke to Porter, who retired from boxing in 2021 after Floyd Mayweather announced his return to the pro ring for a rematch with Manny Pacquiao in September, on top of exhibitions with Mike Tyson and Mike Zambides. That said, many are questioning whether money has no money, or has he really just been chomping at the bit to punch some faces again? But Porter can explain. This just happens to be the hurt business. In the hurt business, once you're done with the hurting or getting hurt, you really don't want to go back into that kind of fire, but at the end of the day, this is his livelihood, Porter said. There is too much evidence to the contrary, Shawn. Mayweather's mounting debts, which were highlighted by the recent Business Insider article, as well as his recent lawsuit alleging that Al Heyman, with the help of Showtime and Stefan Espinoza, stole in excess of $300 million from him. And now this? Having a rematch with Manny Pacquiao, who's wanted a rematch with Floyd for ages now, for about a decade. Why did Floyd all of a sudden decide to give it to him at close to 50 years old? Why? Could have did that a long time ago. What took you so long? He ran out of money. Shawn Porter continued, this is what he's done his entire life. At some point, you've got to get away from this being a financial thing, this being a I want to be popular thing, and all that kind of stuff. And you've just got to say, hey, this is what this man has done his whole life to provide. And this is what he loves to do, so he's going to do it. Mayweather 49 is hitting the gym hard, too. We were told he's training daily for his bouts, with a special focus on his upcoming exhibition against Mike Tyson. Yeah, if that shit even happens. I think Shawn is being willfully naive, because as a pugilist himself, he probably doesn't want to believe that someone who's soared to the heights of a Floyd Mayweather, competed at the highest levels of the sport, and is the top-earning athlete the sport has ever seen, could end up broke in his twilight years like anybody else, everybody else, to the point where at 49 years old, he has to keep fighting. For me, Floyd Mayweather never actually retired. Not if you've been paying attention. I mean, his last recorded professional boxing match was the fight against Conor McGregor, but it's not like he hung the gloves up after that. He fought in a series of smaller exhibition matches that kept him about as active as your average active boxer.
And more active than some of his own boxers, more active than some PBC fighters, a lot of them.
Consider that Floyd Mayweather this year has even more going on than his own protege, Gervonta Davis. Floyd Mayweather, who for so many years emphasized leaving the sport with his mental faculties intact, that if he's now jeopardizing those same faculties at 49 years old, I don't think it's because he wants to, I think it's because he has to.
And I think Shawn is in denial because he doesn't want to believe that someone of Floyd Mayweather's stature could end up going broke just like everybody else. But you have to ignore a great deal to arrive at the conclusion that Floyd isn't broke. The rumors have been out there for years.
It was 3 or 4 years ago when 50 Cent first said it on somebody's radio show that all the money was gone. He never trusted Al Heyman. It seems he was right.
Al Heyman is one of several individuals implicated with having stolen Floyd Mayweather's money that we now understand per court documents Al had access to, siphoning vast sums of what's supposed to be Floyd Mayweather's money for various reasons, dubious ones that can't be justified, because why would Al Heyman have access to Floyd Mayweather's money after Floyd's retired?
Why would he have access to Floyd's money in the first place?
For many, many years, there were rumors that Floyd Mayweather is paid out his money in increments as sort of an allowance from Al Heyman, who controlled the bulk of the cash, and those rumors were proven true when Floyd Mayweather filed suit against Showtime, who he says, alongside Al Heyman, stole his money.
So I would say that Shawn Porter cannot accept the realities of what Floyd Mayweather is now experiencing and why he's really coming back to the sport of boxing. It would take a great deal of hardship for him to grant Manny Pacquiao the rematch that he's always wanted.
Not just that, look at some of these guys that he's kept busy with over the years. John Gotti's grandson, 2 times.
Aaron Chalmers, Don Moore. You're telling me somebody of Floyd Mayweather's stature has been keeping busy with these uber celebrities and D-listers for nothing more than the love of the game?
Open your eyes, Shawn.
He's broke. Broke is a joke. Fucking broke.
He's broke!
And I don't even think that Shawn is the only one left in disbelief. I see it all the time. People that can't fathom somebody like Floyd going broke, because that would mean he's not what he made himself out to be. The entrepreneur, the business mogul,
The smart investments.
was all just a character that he was playing, not dissimilar from what you see in the WWE, then coming back to you and me and repeating what Al Heyman told him to say.
It was all just the character that he was playing.
Boasting about his money management skills, except now the chickens have come home to roost.
He's got about 2 or 3 fights on schedule for this calendar year.
The biggest one being the Pacquiao rematch on Netflix later in the year. Before that, the fight with Mike Zambitis in Greece, and what's supposed to be before that, the Mike Tyson fight.
Except for Mike Tyson's recent conflicting update.
Mike Tyson has suffered a hand injury in camp, leaving his exhibition bout with Floyd Mayweather in serious doubt. The boxing legends sent shockwaves around the boxing sphere last September when they signed to face each other in a blockbuster exhibition bout.
And I've maintained a healthy level of skepticism ever since that fight was announced, because I'm of the opinion they only made that announcement all the way back there in September because they were hoping in doing so they could then shop the fight around to a broadcaster that might offer them a lot of money to carry the fight. As of yet, we still don't know if this thing is going to happen. Ring Magazine reported that the fight had been tentatively set for late next month on the 25th in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the site of the Muhammad Ali and George Foreman Rumble in the Jungle. However, as the target date fast approaches, there has still been no official confirmation on where and when the event will take place. Esteemed boxing journalist Dan Raphael has since come out and declared that the fight is unlikely to take place on the 25th.
The 25th of next month, and the reason for the delay may have now become clear. During a recent appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Tyson was spotted wearing a cast on his right hand. When Helwani quizzed the former undisputed heavyweight champion on the injury, Tyson replied, "It's just a little sprain. I've got to go hard. It's the only way I know how to go." Tyson then gave conflicting answers on the status of his fight. Asked if the fight was still taking place on April 25th, Tyson replied, "I believe so." But when probed on whether the sprain could push back his fight with Mayweather, Tyson added, "We will see." That's something I signed for already. It is going down in Africa. It is going to be pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to it. It is going to be in the same ring that Muhammad Ali and George Foreman were in. One detail which has come to light is that Tyson's weight will not be restricted despite operating 5 divisions north from Mayweather. It's just free fighting, catch weight, everything, Tyson added.
Now, as stated, I've been skeptical about this exhibition between these two the whole time, going as far as saying, I don't think it's going to go down. I don't think it's going to happen. April is right around the corner. Ideally, you would need about 8 weeks to really push a show and promote it, whereas we're about 6 weeks out from April 25th.
They say that it's supposed to be going down in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, but who in the Democratic Republic of the Congo has the money to bring both Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather together? We know this isn't something that Turkey LL Sheik is attached to, or Netflix.
You know, the kind of people with the kind of money to bring a Floyd Mayweather and a Mike Tyson together. This isn't their show. Otherwise, we would have heard about it by now.
Think about it. The Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather rematch is all the way out there in what, September? And we already know where it's going down, who the broadcaster is going to be, the major details.
Thus knowing who's paying to put it together. Whereas when it comes to this, that's supposed to be happening much sooner, still a lot we don't know. And I'm of the opinion the two teams came together to make a big announcement, hoping that in doing so, they would get a broadcaster. But when they didn't,
Floyd Mayweather moved on, scheduling an exhibition with Mike Zambidis that's being billed as a pay-per-view and a subsequent Manny Pacquiao rematch because doing the waltz with Mike Zambidis ain't gonna get you but so much money.
Floyd needs money.
Ask yourself a question. Floyd is going to jeopardize the big Manny Pacquiao rematch that he knows has Netflix behind it by doing the waltz with Mike Tyson, who's a lot bigger, albeit a lot older, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo?
no way.
Maybe Mike Tyson is still under the impression it's going to happen. Maybe that's what he thinks, but the way it looks?
Present a separate scenario. Maybe Mike Tyson knows it's not going to happen, and that's why he did the Ariel Helwani show wearing a cast, so that people would see it, so that when it doesn't happen, that'll be the reason.
Irrespective of whether or not Mike knows or Mike doesn't know or whatever's going on, I don't think this fight is going down. I don't think it's going to happen. I never did.
The discrepancy in weight between Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson, I think, is too great even for an exhibition.
As now Floyd Mayweather does have something to lose. The biggest score he stands to make in the calendar year is the Pacquiao fight on Netflix. You don't jeopardize that for this. You do a little tune-up with the Mike Zambidis guy in Greece. You can handle that because he's somewhat smaller than Floyd Mayweather. And then you go into the Pacquiao fight, fresh as a daisy.
Ready to roll.